a dollar figure attached to it. For every minute you spend in jail, there's a ratio of cash that they make. So it's a business, and that's clearly evident by the fact that many people who are in jail are not true criminals. They've gone into jail over civil matters, which does not constitute them as criminals. And say 90% of people that are in jail are actually not criminals. They're just in there to pay the lawyers and criminals that have managed to find a way to get them in there so that they can have cash in their pockets because they make money on those bonds, on those court cases, which are just constructive trusts. Every court case is a constructive trust. You see, it's all something. It's all something to do with the stock market and making money and banking. So so it benefits them, and it also benefits you in the negative. So you can't jump up and down and say, "Well, I want my rights." No, no, wait a minute. Wait a minute. You've got a birth certificate. You're registered with the government. Someone owns that name, and you've complied. You haven't come back after 7 years and and notify the government that you are flesh, blood, and you are sane, and you are able to administer your own affairs. Therefore, you are the beneficiary of your account. Until such time, we're going to be the beneficiaries. You see?
Is Santos, is this why when the police stop you, the first thing they ask you is, "Let me see ID and what's your name"? Is that why they say that?
Yeah, because they cannot contract with flesh, blood, human being. They cannot. They can't see you. But
But
they
they don't
can
know.
see.
But they don't know this, right? They're just doing it because they think that's what the law says, right? The first thing that comes out of the mouth is, "Let me see your identification. What's your name?" Or are they aware of this? The police.
Um, I would say 5 to 10% would be aware of it. The other 90%, they don't care. They just want a job. Now, they just want to do their job. And they've been told that the correct procedure when you interact with someone in the private, because that's what it is. You know, when you stop someone on the road, you're actually stopping them. You're stopping a flesh blood individual. You see, so but the reason they can do this is because they know more than likely that you are going to have that registered name in their books. Well, even though the policemen are just an agency and they don't own the name either, but they know that their buddies own the name, some government department, some registry, some bank. So they've been instructed that when they apprehend someone, the first thing you want to do is get their corporate dead name, so that the person you apprehend can give life to that name, and therefore you can interact with that third party transmitting utility, that medium by which both of you can interact. Because what he's going to do is, if you give him the name and you agree to create joinder to that name, then he's able to write to that name, Santo Bonacci, $100 fine, and he gives you that, and he says, "There's a fine for you, or for the person that you have." And then what he does is he certifies his papers, his portion of the paperwork. He certifies them, so they become securities also. You see, and they become real money. So the judge can actually see that in court. The judge can see his papers, that they are certified papers, and therefore they are real money. So the prosecution, they turn up with real money. You turn up with nothing. You turn up with a bit of paper, an affidavit signed, whatever, and it's not certified, so it's not real money. And in the public world, because they're dealing in the public, not the private now, You see, you're not a human being in the private. You are a person in the public now, in the public system. And you're turning up in court and you've got no certified documents or anything like that. He can't see your papers. You're just talking like this, blah, 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 blah. I'm Santo Bonacci. I don't want to pay this fine. I resist. I don't care. I don't. And he can't hear you. He can't even see you, but he can see the policeman's papers. These are real papers. These have got, these are notarized papers. So guess who's going to win?
Santos. So then, this is why when the human beings that know their rights, when they go to court and the judge asks them, "What is your name, sir?" Then they refuse to give their names, and they say, "Well, that doesn't matter," or I'm here to represent the name that you call Johnny.